Hey there, 7th graders. We're doing adding fractions and mixed numbers, this time with different denominators, all right? If we look at this first one, 3/4 plus 2/3, one of them is fourths, one's thirds. When we were comparing fractions with different denominators, what did we have to do? Remember, we had to find a common denominator. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to find a common denominator for 3/4 and 2/3. All right, so my common denominator is going to be 12. I could use other ones too. I could have used 24 or 36, but I'm going to go with my least common denominator. All right, so 3/4, I have to multiply the top and bottom both by 3, and 2/3, I need to multiply the top and bottom both by 4. All right, so now I have 9/12 plus 8/12. So just like we were doing the other day, when I'm adding things now that have a common denominator, I need to add the numerators. 9 plus 8 gives me 17. That stays above my 12 as my denominator, so 17/12. And then I'm going to go ahead and simplify that. It's an improper fraction right now. I want it as a mixed number. So 12 goes into 17 one time, and 5 left over, so 1 and 5/12. All right, those are my steps. A common denominator, and then add numerators and simplify it if I need to. All right, let's look at a couple more. 3/4 plus 1/12. What would my least common denominator be? It would be 12, right? Because 4 goes into 12. So I'm just going to multiply the 3 and the 4 and 3/4 by 3. I'm going to keep my 1/12. So I'm going to have 9/12 plus 1/12 equals, remember, add the 9 and the 1, keep it above my 12ths. So I'm going to have 10/12. Now, is that simplified? Not yet. All right, 10 and 12 are both divisible by 2. So if I divide those both by 2, I'm going to get my simplified answer of 5/6. All right, let's look at this second one here. 3/5 plus 1/2. To add those, what do I do first? Common denominator, right? So 3/5 and 1/2, my common denominator, I'm going to use 10. So I'm going to multiply 3 and 5 both by 2, and multiply the 1 and the 2 both by 5. So I'm going to have 6/10 plus 5/10. If I add the numerators, I have 11 over 10, 11/10. Not simplified yet. Again, to simplify this one, I have to go 11 divided by 10. That gives me 1 with a remainder of 1. That remainder becomes my numerator, so I have 1 and 1/10. All right, couple more. 4/5 plus 3/8. What would my common denominator be? Remember, I could write out multiples of 5 and multiples of 8 until I found something that they have in common. I could also just take the denominator from the other fraction. Right? So the 4 and the 5, I could just multiply them both by 8, and the 3 and the 8, multiply both those by 5. That will always work to give me a common denominator. And in this case, it's actually going to be the least common denominator also. So I'm going to do just like I said, multiply the 4 and the 5 by 8, the 3 and the 8 by 5, and 4/5 plus 3/8 becomes 32/40 plus 15/40. Add the numerator, 32 plus 15, and I get 47/40. All right, 47/40. To simplify that, get it out of improper fraction and into a mixed number, I'm going to have 1, and I have 7 left over, that remainder of 7, so 1 and 7/40. Now I can't simplify that any further. The only thing that goes into 7 is 1 and 7, and 40 is not divisible by 7. So that's my final answer. This next one here, now I've got a negative again. And remember, and not only do I have a negative, I have a mixed number. If I have a mixed number that's a negative, I'm going to forget about that negative for a second. And I'm going to go 5 times 2 is 10. 10 plus 4 is 14. So this is negative 14 fifths plus 3 and 6 elevenths. 3 and 6 elevenths, that's going to be 11 times 3 is 33 plus 6 is 39. So negative 14 fifths plus 39 elevenths. Alright, I'm going to multiply negative 14 and 5 by 11. My common denominator is going to be 55. Multiply 39 and 5 by 5. Alright, so I'm going to have negative 154 55ths plus 195 55ths. So I have negative 154. My answer is going to be positive because my absolute value of 195 is larger than the absolute value of 154. So my answer is going to be positive 41 55ths. Now there's nothing more I can do to that. That's simplified as much as it can be. So that's my final answer. Alright, try these 4. We'll look at them in class, but try these. We've got the top 2 are fractions, just regular fractions. And then this one we've got a mixed number in here. And we've got 2 that are mixed numbers here. All right, try these 2 problems, and then we'll move on to the last slide. All right, what did you learn or were you reminded of, and what questions do you still have?